Right, I've got my shop back. Mark's disappeared this morning, so I've got this in and we're having a look around it, and I must admit, before we go underneath it, it is very good. There's not much for me to do, unfortunately. Anyway, a little bit about this, because I was a bit suspicious of what it actually was. It's not a real 109 regular, even though it's got a 4-cylinder in it. It started off its life as a NADA 109. That meant it was a North American dollar area from around about late 1960s, early 1970s, I think, I'm not really sure. And it is chassis number 343-00421A. They made 811 of them. They were a very limited number. The giveaway was the Safari roof, because those really weren't in England all that much. Well, it doesn't get very warm really. Oh, apart from now, it's summertime anyway. But yeah, it's a tropical, what they call tropical roof. So they were for North American spec, and it was a straight 6-cylinder. Not many of the straight 6s are left. In North America, they either fitted 4-cylinder petrol, like this one from a Land Rover, or they fitted Chevy engines because they were quite good, and you can get a conversion kit for them. Well, this one's very, very good because it's got a galvanised chassis, and like I say, underneath, when I had a quick look round earlier, not much to do. So we're going to have a look in a minute. But like I say, there's a few little bits on my paper, but very little underneath. So let's get down and get with it. Well, I hope this comes out all right, because I'm just using my strip plate at the moment. I think we pointed out earlier that there was a bit of a shonky exhaust mounting rubber up there. We've got to fix that, and the tailpipe doesn't extend beyond the bodywork, so that needs well, we'll just stick a bit of pipe on. It's a very good Land Rover, very, very good. It's had a lot of work done to it. I'm just moving my light because my battery's flat on me at the torch. It's had new springs fitted to it, new bolts. The only thing I could find wrong with it so far is the fuel rubber here is split, so that needs a new one. Oh, and I think I mentioned earlier that there's no rubber in the cap, you know, that goes up there, so that needs replacing. It's been pretty well done. I just wondered who's done it. Maybe Paul Safari in Ontario, he built it, I'm not sure, because it's got a lot of bits on it that people usually forget to do. You can see that it's got the correct brake pipe mounting brackets on, they're usually missing, and also the check straps, they're usually missing. And if you are observant, you will notice it's got a Salisbury axle in. Now, the Salisburys weren't fitted to the NADA spec. They just had a regular Rover axle, you know, like the front one, but they proved to be a little bit too weak, especially for all the weight they used to carry around. Like I said, new springs, it's had new brake drums fitted. It's had a lot of money spent on that, and you can see the exhaust still got the sticker on it. They haven't done much. I don't really know what to do. I've been around all the wheel stations, checked the bearings, everything's fine, there's no binding, nothing like that. All the tyres are matching, unusual for a Land Rover, isn't it? No cuts or splits. The inspector will spin the wheels and put a gauge on to see if there's any buckles in the wheels. Now, these wheels were prone to buckling. We'll see. Where we're going to take it, I don't know, for inspection. We've got 2 stations. One's really, really strict, and one's a bit, well, fix it later type of thing. So we'll probably take it to the fix it later one. So let's continue a little bit further on. So looking from the front to the back, the rubbers are a little bit cracked, but it is, you know, lifted up in the air, so I think they'll be okay. That's not a big problem. Straps are on, like I say. Exhaust new. It's a bit tight here, and I wonder if that's why they've dropped that down a bit. Or it could be because it's on my lift. Yeah, I had a hell of a job trying to find a place to put it around my lift, so that might correct itself later, I'm not sure. A little bit of a weep out the axle at the back, but nothing to write home about. Usually they're spewing out. Not bothered with that. Like I say, new springs, probably new bushes as well. Everything's good, tank's not leaking. Make a note of that, unusual. The studs are right, locking nuts on, everything's correct there. Nothing there nothing untoward. Let's have a look a little bit further. The prop shafts are all nice and tight, all the joints, no vibrations there. Nothing leaking out of the gearbox, out of the transfer box. That's very rare, isn't it? Anyway, we'll drill a hole in the gearbox or transfer box and let some oil out. All the nuts have got lock nuts and washers on, so that's good. It's very good underneath. There's a little bit of rust on these, these sill panels, if whatever you call it. They're sills, but the steel parts are a bit rusty. But I think a bit of rust killer is not too bad. There's a bolt missing out of there, but that's nothing. It's just holding that flimsy piece of crap on. Let's have a look a bit further forward. Right, I've moved forward under the engine, and if there's anybody observant, you will notice here is the clutch cylinder, the slave cylinder. I don't know if you're allowed to call them slaves now, but I will. Bit of a giveaway really, isn't it? And look at the ribs on that bell housing, because I've got a suspicion this is a Series 3 engine. Because if we take the light up here, this engine's been rebuilt, and it's a four cylinder, but you can see the core plugs up there are new. So I think this engine's been a rebuilt one. It's a little bit damper on the crank pulley, but that's nothing. And it's not spewing out the flywheel, housing. The rubber's split here, but that's not an inspection fail. Props are good. Oh yeah, it's got freewheeling hubs on, that's right. So that's what that's banging about for. Series 3 type radiator. Yeah, it's been a proper job. Somebody's put a lot of money into this. A lot of money. Everything's good, springs are good, no cracks. If you've noticed here, it's got the gaiters on from like a military axle. I wonder if these are military axles. It's got 11-inch drums on, which is normal for a 109, and all the drums look like they're fairly recent. Cunifer pipes on, that's acceptable here, and they've been put on well. Yeah, not a bad little job actually. Nothing leaking out the relay. Bolts are in here, split pins are in. Well, that's nothing for me to do really. The only thing I have noticed, which I am going to do, is these leaf spring bolts here. This is a problem. We're going to fail it on that because the nut doesn't come through the lock. The bolt doesn't come through the lock nut. I don't know what I'm going to do there. I really don't know. I had thoughts of backing off this nut and pulling this one down, but I'm not sure if it's going to go that way. We'll see. It might need a couple of they'll probably fail it. Yeah, because you see the stud is supposed to come through the lock nut. They're under so much tension that the chances of them shaking off is unbelievable. But, well, you never know. The rubbers are good here, split pins are in. They're a bitch to get in. Yeah, no, it's a good one. It's a really good one. This little panel at the front's missing, but I think I've got one of them in my container. I shall give him it. It's even got the little brackets on here for the steering damper that used to bolt onto the steering here. Now, there, you can't bolt things on. Oh, you bolt them onto the steering, but you can't weld a bracket onto the steering. You can't weld any steering components here. Yeah, not a bad little truck. If it wasn't the 109, I'd have it myself. All the bolts in there with lock nuts on the bumper. Yeah, pretty good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write to the owner with a list and try and get him to come down and work here, do this himself with me if he wants. But there's lots of little jobs that he can do himself, so it's not too bad. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to do there's a bolt on the hinge. I'm going to inspect to see if that needs a bit of how do you say, helicoil in it, or it's just a thread. We'll see. Anyway, that's that for now.